Hello, welcome back, and as always, I hope you're doing well. Right, before I start the day, guys, I've got to say thank you all for entering the competition. You know, the competition I put out in the week for some goodies from the Rise of the Dragon event and a couple of other little bits as well. Some of you, though, have only commented on 4 films, not 5. So double check your answers, guys, and make sure you like the post. Right, today's video, just a little bit of fun today, guys. Just a little bit of fun. Today we're going to be talking again about Bruce Lee's signature weapon, the Nunchaku. Specifically the Nunchaku in Fist of Fury. Not necessarily the weapon, the routine and the edit of that first scene where Bruce arrives at the NUNCHAku school. When Bruce first gets kicked in the back and he gets them out of his jacket or off the floor and he picks them up and he holds them like this and then he starts swinging them around like that. All of a sudden they're under his armpit before he starts the routine, and after he struck 5 of the Japanese at the end, he carries on doing the swinging around like this, and if you connect them 2 bits together you can see it's one scene just been sliced in half. But the routine does start with him clutched under his arm. Famous Bruce Lee pose. He does it at the end of Enter the Dragon, he does it in Game of Death, he does it with both Nunchaku in The Way of the Dragon, and even does it at the end when he's fighting Mr. Suzuki in Fist of Fury. The routine, it cuts away a lot to the Japs going, oh my days, what's he doing? And he does it quite a few times during the routine where he's doing his display of the Nunchaku. If I edited out the Japanese fighters, it does make a seamless routine that looks something like this. And as you can see, he's flipping them around and all that lot, and it's obviously a lot shorter. So what I'm going to do today is a breakdown of the routine, telling you what he's doing and showing you a bit of it in slow motion, then pausing it while I'm explaining, because you cannot say it at the same time as him doing it. You'll understand. And I'm going to do it up to the 5 strikes. The routine starts with an Nunchaku clutched under the right armpit. He then swings them over his right shoulder, catching them under his right armpit with his left hand. He lets go of the batten in his left hand, pulls the chux up across his chest, swinging them over his left shoulder and catching the swinging batten with his right hand. He lets go of the batten in his right hand and pulls the chux up across his chest, swinging them over his right shoulder, tapping the loose batten with his left hand under his right armpit. He then swings the chux down with his right arm, making a circle motion on the way, and as his hand reaches his right hip, he makes a scooping motion from the outside coming towards him, and in a smooth motion brings his arm back up, swinging the chux over his right shoulder. He then taps the loose batten with his left hand, but doesn't grasp the batten. He flicks the loose chuck over his shoulder towards his armpit, but this time he doesn't clutch the chuck. He bounces the loose chuck off his armpit and using his right arm pushes the chucks forward, almost in a pushing motion. Once his arm is almost extended, he whips the chucks back over his right shoulder, tapping the loose batten with his left hand and flicking it back towards his right armpit. He then does a flick out with his right arm, bouncing the loose batten off his armpit in a small circular motion, bringing the spinning chuck back again to bounce off his armpit. He then swings the chuck over his right shoulder, catching them under his right armpit with his left hand, and he lets go of the batten in his right hand and pulls the chucks up across his chest and swinging them over his shoulder, catching the swinging batten with his right hand. He releases the batten in his left hand and pulls the chucks up across his chest, swinging them over his right shoulder, tapping the swinging batten with his right shoulder, swinging the loose chuck over and catches the batten under his right armpit. He then punches out the Nunchaku slightly to his left, striking a Jap on the head and brings them back under his armpit. He then pivots his body right, releasing the weapon and hitting another one on his right hand side, then twisting his body, keeping the Nunchaku horizontal, strikes another on his far left side, then swings back to his right side, hitting another. And while the swinging batten is behind his back, he swings his right arm forward and hits another fighter in front of him. He then brings the chucks back up, swinging them over his right shoulder. He then swings the chucks down with his right arm, making a circular motion on the way down, then brings them back up, swinging them over his right shoulder, tapping the loose batten with his left hand, and then catching the flying batten in a clutch under his right armpit. Now that whole routine only takes 14 seconds.
What?
It only takes 9 seconds if you remove the Japanese onlookers. Simply amazing. Well, I thought it might be a little bit of fun for me to try and recreate that scene.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
As you can see, I've got nunchakus all around me, but they've all got quite a long cord or a long chain, and the ones that Bruce Lee uses in Fist of Fury, the chain length changes. I have mentioned this in videos before. When he's doing the actual routine, the chain is relatively short. So, Saturday just gone, I took a trip down to the town and I went to see an old friend of mine, Cam from Cam & Co. I've been going to Cam, we had a nice little reminisce. I used to buy my Bruce Lee paraphernalia off him on Pitsy Market 40 years ago. He's retiring next year and all, which is going to be quite sad because he's been up there forever. Well, anyway, while I was up there, he had a set of nunchaku that reminded me very much of the ones Bruce Lee used in Fist of Fury. These ones, obviously Bruce didn't have the speed chuck and the ball bearing, but I do quite like the rib battens. So I thought to myself, I wonder if I could still do the Fist of Fury routine, because I have tried it a few times in the past, and I wonder if I've got it correct. Now, these are quite heavy. Over the last few years I've been using rattan nunchaku that are relatively light. The wonderful nunchakus that I've got displayed behind me are also very light. These are not, so it should be a bit of fun. So, for the routine, I decided to wear my beanie hat, but this is not my normal one. This is a little bit thicker because accidents do happen. And obviously, unfortunately, I look more like Sammo Hung doing nunchaku than Bruce Lee. But let's have a go anyway.
What was that? An exhibition? We need emotional content.
I know, but do you think I've got the routine correct? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever tried this routine, the Fist of Fury nunchaku routine? Let me know. I'd be interested. And are you interested in trying it? It's not as hard as it looks. It really isn't. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. So these will be hung up in my office in there now. Nice to have them. But obviously they don't look like Bruce Lee's one because he didn't have the silver bit and the speed chuck, but still quite nice to have. But they're heavy. They are heavy. Right, as always, I want to thank each and every one of you that takes the time to watch the videos, comment on the videos, like the videos, and all of that wonderful stuff. And of course, my Patreons. Thanks, guys. Brilliant. Right, obviously the competition will be closing on Thursday. Give me a chance to go through it all. I'm going to do the wheel like I did last time on the last few competitions. It seems to be the most fairest way of doing it. There's only going to be one winner and there's a lot of you entered, so good luck. And I'll see you Saturday. So have yourselves an amazing rest of the week. Much love. And I'll be back with another ramble real soon. You take care now.